Here we go. And welcome back to the Constitutionals podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. This is episode 164. This is the premiere podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's the website. Go there. I tried to get the episode number in there as fast as possible. And now my headphones, this is two separate things. My headphones are now trapped under the Zoom recorder mic. Also, why am I screaming? Also, why am I the loudest person in the room? We're back. Episode 164 of this show. We got a lot to talk about. But before we get into that, last night I watched a movie, a documentary film called Chasing Happiness from the Jonas Boys over there. Now, I've been tasked with watching a couple of shows and a couple of movies from several different outlets. Streaming platforms. A friend and I have decided to get together and, of course, not in person because coronavirus, quarantine, and challenge each other by choosing 4 to 5 shows and choosing 1 to 2 episodes, or in the case of now we're on Amazon, choosing a movie or two to watch, and then we discuss them. We have a little tiny discussion. It's like a book club, but for TV. Really, it's really fun, really interesting. We've been doing it for the past couple of weeks. We did Hulu, we did Netflix, we did... Oh boy, what else did we do? Anyway, we're on... Disney Plus? We haven't done Disney Plus yet. Anyway, we're on Amazon Prime right now. I assume we'll do Disney Plus, and she's a big Disney fan. So we will do that at some point. Anyway, I watched Chasing Happiness last night with the Jonas Brothers. Is a very good movie. Very good documentary. And it might have made me a Jonas Brothers fan. I'm not going to say might. It definitely made me a Jonas Brothers fan. So we have that to look forward to. There's songs I didn't know, but of course there are songs I did know. And it makes me think, I wonder if there is a One Direction documentary. There probably is, but there was probably, the This Is Us movie from 2013. I would love to see one about One Direction that is not a concert documentary film, but a documentary in the vein of Chasing Happiness, where it chronicles their start and then also chronicles them wanting to break up. Because when the Jonas Brothers and Chasing Happiness, it took them to task. It was like, we can't do this. We don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to, or one of them was like, we don't want to. And I don't want to tell you who, but I think you know which one, Joe. We don't want, or was it Nick? Which one's which? Nick Jonas. I believe it was Nick. Nick was like, we don't want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. And then they just essentially broke up. And they all tried to do their own thing. And then they came back together because they missed each other. They hadn't hung out with each other in 6 years at some point. So anyway, great. Chasing Happiness. Check it out. Let's get on with the topics. There are 2 shows that have been recasting, and they're animated shows. I mean, they're recasting a couple of characters that happen to be mixed race, but the producers chose to play them as white people, or cast them with white people. So, if the Hollywood Reporter would upload this, if the Hollywood Reporter would upload this story. Okay, here we go. Both Big Mouth and Central Park. It's not, apparently I'm peeking. I saw out of the corner of my eye the Zoom explode with redness because I was peeking. Okay, here we go. Big Mouth and Central Park to recast with black actors for biracial roles. Apparently this is a video. Anyway, Kristen Bell, who plays a character in the new Central Park series on Apple TV Plus. She plays a main character who is mixed. And Jenny Slate, who's been playing a mixed character on Big Mouth, Netflix's Big Mouth. They thought it was best, and they both decided themselves to step back from their roles. Kristen Bell's going to be recast in a different role. And Jenny Slate's character is just going to be recast, and she's not going to be on the show. And they apologized. The producers apologized, and they all, said they're so sorry that this even happened. The thing is, if you're someone like me, and even if you enjoy the show, you were harping on this, and for Big Mouth in particular, you're harping on this in the beginning. These characters should not have been cast. I mean, especially in terms of Big Mouth, that cast is very white. And it's a bunch of people I enjoy. It's a bunch of people I would say I love, but these people are all very white. I think on Big Mouth, the only person of color, or two people of color, are Jordan Peele and Jason Mantzoukas. And if you count Greek, Fred Armisen, yes, of course, and Maya Rudolph. Okay, so it's not but still, most of the characters, all played by Nick Kroll, apparently. Looking at the Wikipedia page, are all very white, and. I just think that even if you have your friend, the four creators are white, but even if you have your friends helping you create a show, you gotta be able to diversify that. As much as I love, and I'll use this as an example, it's a show I watched this week, the Comedy Bang Bang TV show on IFC, Comedy Bang Bang. The writers for that show were mostly white, and you see it all around. As much as those people, do support diverse, and they have diverse friends groups, and the other shows they worked on were diverse. There are still shows around that tend to veer towards not having a diverse group of people. I read an article for. I don't know if this is coming up later. Oh yeah, this is coming up. This is the next story. I don't know. I didn't even know I put this in here. I read an article about SNL, and this kind of goes with the diversity thing. How dare you sign in to subscribe to continue reading? Excuse me? I do not have to sign in to the Washington Post. All right, here we go. I'll sign in. This is embarrassing. This should have been up already. Hey, this is taking forever. I was on a roll, and now I'm losing it. This is written by Bethany Butler. That is not a good way to spell Bethany. It's not in the traditional way. It's Bethhonie. It grosses me out. But she's a great writer because I read this. Blackface has long been an issue on comedy. Look no further than Saturday Night Live for Prooth. Prooth? You can't handle the Prooth. I did it. I was at the 8 minutes until the title of this episode. Good for me. So she starts it off with last year that Virginia Governor Ralph Northam they found a photo of him. They, as in those wicked media. Hey, that could be the title, right? Right. I'm looking at the second camera. It's not even pointed at me. I thought it was pointing at me. It's too low. It's too high. Okay. Ralph Northam was found to have a photo of blackface on him, and then there's a sketch called State Meeting done by SNL where Kenan Thompson is addressing a bunch of other white governors, and they're asking questions, and it's a very funny sketch. I think that's an episode with Halsey. Yes, that is Halsey there in that thumbnail. And the point is, Justin Trudeau had a blackface thing, and Megyn Kelly was fired for questioning why blackface is not fine. But they knew that was coming. Well, she said, Bethany, over there, that SNL has been doing blackface for the longest amount of time. There was an episode where Billy Crystal wore blackface while impersonating Sammy Davis Jr. in the 80s, even while acting opposite civil rights leader Jesse Jackson, who hosted the show in 1984. She referenced Ted Danson's blackface at the 1993 roast for his then girlfriend Whoopi Goldberg. Okay, so that's just a separate thing. Daryl Hammond darkened his skin to play Jesse Jackson. Fred Armisen. We'll get to Fred Armisen in a second. But Chris Rock has famously left the show, and he went over to the very good, very great In Living Color, I believe, at some point. Yes, he landed at Living Color with Keenan Ivory Wayans. saying, quote, I wanted to be in an environment where I didn't have to really translate the comedy that I wanted to do. He told Mark Maron in 2011, but still he has a great relationship with SNL. Oprah Winfrey hosted in 1986, and she did a cold open that pointed her refusal to dress up as Aunt Jemima, who is now someone we don't do. And then there was a sketch. I mean, that same cold open featured Denitra Vance, who passed away in 1994, I believe, is what I looked up today. I didn't even know who Denitra Vance was. She was the only black comedian on the show at the time. And she served coffee to Lorne Michaels. And, you know, I read this earlier and I did kind of chuckle because it was the juxtaposition between Oprah saying she didn't want to do that. You know, you fall for stuff like that. And then this person going, she said she called Lorne Michaels Mr. Lorne. She dressed like Sally, Goldberg's character from The Color Purple. And Whoopi Goldberg's character from The Color Purple. Michaels asked Vance what he should do to get Winfrey to play Aunt Jemima. And then Denitra says, beat her. In the end, it's Whitney who doles out a faux beating. Winfrey who doles out a faux beating. But, see, I'm laughing at it. It's so... Anyway, Maya Rudolph left in 2007, and they didn't have a black woman since. Excuse me. I think in 2013 or 2014, they had... Or 2013. Yeah. Was when Sashir Zameda and Leslie Jones joined the cast and the writing team, respectively. I don't remember if Leslie joined the writing team first or the cast first. Regardless, then they had Kerry Washington say that there hadn't been a first lady in years. Jay Farrow was playing the black man, and he said out loud he was sick of playing the black men, like, you know, playing the Obama and the Jay-Z and all that stuff. I mean, and you hear this. And you see these things, and you see that SNL can't get it right, but you know they're a pretty liberal bunch, and Big Mouth can't get it right, and Central Park can't get it right, and you know at this point, no one except for the people of color and the women can get it going right. It's a shame that even when these people think they're doing something right, they're ultimately not. And you know, you should just think that at some point you need to take a back seat and let the other part of the world drive. I guess that's what I'm getting at. I would love to see diverse writers' rooms. I would love to see diverse casting, and not just because they need a black face or a brown face or a queer face in the room. How do you know it's a queer face? How do you know it's a queer face? I'm not gonna do that impression. I'm not gonna fall for that. But you don't want somebody to be the diverse hire just for the heck of having a diverse hire, because that would just put them in a bind. And I just spoke to somebody who sold a movie to Netflix. And she was talking about that with me, about how she said something very eloquent, how when you have a diverse hire, when you're hiring black women in these writers' rooms, and for instance, you're just hiring them to be that diverse voice. You're not hiring them for success. You're just hiring them to be that diverse voice. And in many ways, that's kind of what a lot of these movies and TV shows will be doing. I can't even say video games because there's no people of color in video games. God forbid. God forbid. So yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, it can just be, you can recast the characters on Big Mouth and Central Park. You can hire the actors, the comedians on, I was going to say sketch artists. And that's like going to Subway and saying, I'm a sandwich artist. No knock on anybody who works at Subway. But you can have these people, but in the long run, what does that mean? I think, and SNL in particular, they really turned it around, because Sashir had a good tenure on there. Leslie had a great tenure on there, and she is probably one of the most popular cast members of the last couple of years. Like if you know, I'm going to say something really mean, but the white people really love her. They see her as somebody that they see her as their black friend. You know, whenever she came out, you know, the white people would go like crazy, clapping at everything, because that's the only people who go see SNL live. I've seen when they do when they're at the end of the theme song, when the host comes out and they're about to do the monologue and the camera pans up or tilts up and or tilts down, excuse me. You see the crowd and it's just all like on the floor. They have those seats. It's all white people, and then in the stands, it's mostly white people. I mean, come on, it's white people that are going to see SNL. So, but now Sashir has a good career, and Leslie has a great career. You know, she's about to host Supermarket Sweep. She was in a Ghostbusters movie, the one with the women. How dare they? Ugh, women in Ghostbusters, patooey, gross. So I have to laugh after these things because people don't think it's true, or people think it's true. So there we go. Listen, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get to the last half of this show, apparently. And we're back. Listen, I had a chance to untangle these headphones, and I didn't. I didn't do it. Whose fault is that? It's mine. What else is going on? It's my birthday. Oh, you know what? Today is my birthday. The day this episode goes up, it's my birthday. I will be years old. This is the first episode I've done on my birthday. It's 164 episodes. Yeah. So that's the first episode done on my birthday. I'd like to thank God for life, and Buddha and Muhammad and the rest. And the rest. That's my favorite. Listen, let's get on to this next story. Google is going to pay publishers paywalls on their news service. So Google, if you don't know, has a news service called Google News. Yeah. And whoa, here's a little breaking thing. This comes from Engadget. 100 million people watch YouTube on TVs each month. Oof. That includes me. Anyway, let's get back to this Google thing. Written by Steve Dent over at Engadget, Google has announced it will start paying subscribers to license, quote, high-quality content in its upcoming initiative is describing as, quote, news experience. So you might notice this is the same direction that Apple took for Apple News Plus. With Apple News Plus, you sign up and you get... I'm picking up the iPad right now, and you're able to get news. So you tap here on the iPad. I'm using my location only while using the app. Excuse me. You sign up. You pay $5 a month, and you get people who usually charge companies that usually charge for their logins for publishing. Like if you every month you get like 3 articles to read, or every month you get 4 articles to read, 5 articles to read at The Atlantic or Washington Post. I believe it's every month you get 3. New York Times, I believe it's 3, something like that. Wall Street Journal, never. You pay $20 a month, like some people, like this guy who paid $20 because he forgot to unsubscribe last week from his free trial, from his dollar trial for 2 months. And it's an interesting venture. I don't think people really use it. And for the Wall Street Journal, in particular for Apple News Plus, I believe that they bury their stuff, that they ask to have their stuff buried. So you can only read like the most, I guess, like the biggest thing or the most important things, but you can't but looking for Wall Street Journal by itself, you have to jump through many hoops. So Google has been said to have their own news challenger to come up in the form of maybe Google News. Maybe it'll be free. Maybe it won't be. Maybe you have to do a subscription for it. And now they're going to start licensing things. So what you'll see on the consumer end of that will be, you want to read the New York Times, you don't have a subscription, you go to Google News and they will give you whatever story that you want for free. They'll absorb the cost themselves by paying New York Times for that $25 that they're losing out on. Google has been under fire for failing to pay news organizations when it shows news snippets and other content on its search pages, especially in Europe. France recently ordered Google to negotiate with publishers over such payments, while Google maintains that it sells neither searches nor clicks. We'll see how this goes. This will be an interesting thing for the news media. But again, Apple News Plus, even when it came out, people were not talking about it, and people aren't talking about it now. So I can't see this being a lucrative business proposition for Google. Just to say, hey, this person is using our free service, and eventually they're going to pay $5 for this service, because no one's going to pay more than $5 to read any article for news, except for people who pay for the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post. And the Atlantic, sometimes. And the New Yorker, when I want to tote. This comes from the Variety. This next one. Late Night and COVID Struggles. Written by Brian Steinberg. Hard days for late night. Conan, Colbert seek new normal. If you don't know, Jimmy Kimmel is going to take a break for the summer just to spend time with his family. So he's not going to be hosting his show. The show is still going to go on. The show must go on, my dear boy. The show must go on. And they're going to have a wide range guest hosts. Now, Kimmel's done guest hosts before. He did it earlier this year. I believe twice. Anthony Anderson hosts a ton of times. And Channing Tatum's hosted before. Katy Perry's hosted before. When Kimmel's son Billy was born and he had the heart issue as a baby, then Kimmel spent, I think, a couple of weeks away from the show, and everybody came in and hosted. Guest hosts are great. And Kimmel needs this break. I can see it in his eyes, and I can see it in everyone else's eyes too. The nation's wee hour brigade pulled off a miracle in March by moving their shows from swanky TV facilities to host homes. Now they must do it again in reverse with a higher degree of pandemic-related difficulty. I guess what Brian is getting at here, there's going to be a move back to the studio, and at some point within the near future, especially with states opening back up. But although Texas, when I came over work today around 4:00 p.m. on June 25th, 2020, Texas in Eastern time, Texas said that they're stopping their efforts to reopen the state because coronavirus cases have skyrocketed. Oh, who could have thought that? Who could have figured that would happen? Jeff Ross, Conan O'Brien's longtime executive producer, said, "We've all got to find new ways of doing business, new ways of making shows. We're approaching this like it's going to be a long time until TV viewers see a late night show that looks like it did before the coronavirus." Kimmel's show was snipped down to 30 minutes. And Samantha Bee is doing her show, Full Frontal Outside. I guess the only people that have thrived have been Seth Meyers. You know what? Seth Meyers is doing really well. His show is doing really well. At least online. The online component is. Colbert, he can do no wrong in his audience's eyes, which is great. He just had Jon Stewart on last night, and I watched that episode today. And Corden doing it from his garage. Trevor Noah, Daily Show, Comedy Central gave that show an extra 12 minutes. So that show is thriving like no other. And Desus and Mero, they moved from Mondays to Sundays to compete against Last Week Tonight's John Oliver. I watch too much late night. I watch way too much. If Conan's not on, then I focus on Seth. And if someone good is on Colbert, I'll watch Colbert, and then if Corden, I'll watch him as well. I watch everybody. There's not one I don't watch. Lily Singh, but it's what they're doing now. They're doing the Zoom writers' rooms. They're doing everything from iPhones and from remotely and everything. But when they get back, it's going to be it's going to be different from what it looks like, obviously. Conan, for the past couple of weeks, even though he's been off for, I think, about 2 weeks, but 2 weeks prior to that, he was this is during the protests, he only had black guests on to talk about being black in America and George Floyd and all that stuff. Interestingly enough, I don't believe that his staff is not diverse. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't have a lot of people of color, let alone black people, or it doesn't have a lot of black people, let alone people of color. And you can see that. You can see that in the theme song. The people took selfies as staffers, and they flashed them during the theme song of the Conan at Home right now, and a lot of them are white. Just saying. So we'll see what happens with late night. They just have to. I think a lot of them are doing what's best right now, and as much as I would disagree with it, but they're doing what's best in that they are talking about now. At the end of every clip on YouTube of Seth Meyers' show and Trevor Noah's show, the Daily Show and Late Show, or the Late Show and Daily Show, respectively, they just have a short clip that says, "Donate to City Harvest" or "Donate to Hands Across America." That's not a charity, but it's the first one I could think of. So, and finally, let's turn our head towards gaming. Microsoft is going to stop Mixr, and they're going to start a partnership with Facebook Gaming. Now, this happened over the course of, I want to say, 5 articles on The Verge, which is a wonderful publication with too big of ad space. Thanks a lot, Vox, I believe. But Microsoft is shutting down Mixr. This is written by, there's a giant, I swear to God, I should just turn around and show you, a giant Samsung ad above the toolbar, and it's insane. I hope I flashed that. This is written by Tom Warren. Microsoft is shutting down Mixr and partnering with Facebook Gaming. Just like the title says, Microsoft is going to stop Mixr on July 22nd. All Mixr sites and apps will automatically redirect to Facebook Gaming. Existing Mixr partners will be granted partner status with Facebook Gaming, and any streamers using the Mixr monetization program will be granted eligibility for Facebook's Level Up program. Mixr viewers with outstanding Ember balances, channel subscriptions, or Mixr Pro subscriptions will receive Xbox gift card credit. This is also a choice that is supposedly supposed to broaden appeal to its upcoming xCloud gaming streaming service, which is where you can play games on your phone, your iPad, your whatever over the cloud. Microsoft recruited exclusive streamers like Ninja and Shroud with big deals, but they haven't been enough to get people using their service over the rivals. Yes, so remember in the fall, they paid Ninja, I would say, trillions of dollars. Now, this next article comes from Bijan Stephen. It's Bijan. Ninja, Shroud, and other top Mixer streamers are now free to stream on Twitch again, where their crowds were bigger. Ninja was reportedly in August signed on for something between 20 and 30 million. So close to $30 million to play video games on Microsoft's streaming platform. I remember when that happened and I logged on to Mixer, I would say for the second or third time total, that I saw numbers. I saw, big numbers watching Ninja, bigger numbers than I've ever seen before, but not big enough numbers. And I can't put a number on it. Maybe, a couple thousand or so. But when he was on Twitch, he was getting hundreds of thousands, I guess, I don't know. I don't watch Twitch. I don't watch people play video games. I'm an adult. So Microsoft is shutting this down. They're partnering with Facebook Gaming. The same thing happened with Groove Music. They gave up on Groove Music and partnered with Spotify. But there's really not much coming from that one because Sony has a Spotify app on their thing. But this Facebook thing Mixer has only been around for a couple of years, and they gave up on that almost instantaneously. Like, they gave up on this new initiative. It's as if they said, how far ago was August? Close to a year since I've been broken up. So let's see. 10 months. They gave up after 10 months, much like my relationship. And it's, oh boy. And it, and it is, Jesus. And Microsoft they didn't really have any backing for this Mixr phenomenon. I won't even call it a phenomenon. But here's something interesting. April's Stream Elements and Arsenal.gg live streaming industry report had the writing on the wall, where Twitch posted 100% year-over-year growth in terms of hours watched, and Facebook Gaming grew a full 238% compared to April 2019. Mixr only managed to grow 0.2%. And that's not good. And now they are going on July 22nd. At some point, when that stuff goes down, there's going to be. I wonder if Ninja and Shroud and the rest of these probably a bunch of white guys playing video games for too much money are going to have the same kind of user base, because if I don't want to compare this to Michael Jordan, but when Michael Jordan left to play baseball, or was forced out, who knows? He left to play baseball, then he came back. Did NBA viewership numbers go up? Did they decline? Did Twitch numbers decline? When Ninja left, did numbers decline? I don't know. That had to be for somebody who pays attention to that stuff. But now this last thing, this comes from Tom Warren at The Verge, and the feature wrote, Microsoft's Mixr streamers are sad, angry, and moving to Twitch. And I can see why people, and also notice how YouTube gaming is not a part of the conversation. YouTube gaming is YouTube's solution to fighting Twitch, to have live gameplay. But nobody does it. Twitch is great for live, and they're bad for post video watching. YouTube is great for post video watching, but they're horrible for live. If you think they're bad for live, go watch anytime IGN is streaming something live. Anytime there's something live on YouTube, I tend to avoid it. Microsoft's Mixr announcement caught a lot of partners by surprise, with many finding out through Twitter or in their own live streams about the fate of their channels. And Microsoft did not give them any notice of this. And all these people, they're naming people that I just don't know. But the reason why Mixr was supposed to be different was because I guess it was a little bit more. Let me see. I don't want to say anything out of touch. Mixr wiki. Mixr service wiki. Okay. Also, I've been spelling Mixr wrong. There's an E in there. I thought it was Mixr because I thought they were cool like that. Mixr had low latency that they called a streaming protocol that was called faster than light. So it made the streamer, the person streaming, and the audience have a connection that was like lightning fast. And on Twitch, there's a 30-second delay. You type in something, if a streamer asked something and somebody responded, then it would take so long for the answer. Like that, there was no conversation there. But people had gotten used to that because Twitch had been around since Justin.tv. It's been around for ages. It's one of the longest video platforms on the internet besides YouTube. So now, I mean, what happens with that technology, that streaming technology that was the selling point for Mixr? Because otherwise, it could do the exact same things that Twitch was doing. That Twitch is doing. You can be a partner. You can sell emoticons. You can have badges. You can subscribe. It's the same exact thing. But Twitch has Amazon behind it, who really want a company that really wants to win the market on gaming for some reason. So we'll see. Facebook Gaming is now going to have to show the world and Mixr partners that it is a force. in the gaming universe. I think Facebook gaming only grew 238% because it's there. When people are on Facebook, that means they have something. That's why Facebook Watch, I would think, is, as, I wouldn't say popular, but as big as it is, because people are there. They're already checking their news feed. They're already uploading pictures. They're already doing their own thing on Facebook. At that point, they are just going to be the people that Quibi just emailed me. No, I've unsubscribed. But they're going to be the people that watch that type of stuff. But even then, Facebook Watch didn't do well. They canceled that show with Elizabeth Olsen. They canceled Loosely Exactly Nicole after buying it from NTV. So who knows what Facebook does with this? It's like when Twitter had live soccer matches, I believe. They had live news as well. You're there. You're going to watch it. I don't know if they still do that, but they probably don't. But, but that's why things like Periscope die. Because they just give up on it. And they can't let it survive. All right, listen. This has been great. This has been a wonderful episode. Much better than my previous attempts at the show. And hey, if you like this, head on over to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where there are so many great interviews with your favorite comedians. Please, it's a birthday gift to me. And it really is my birthday today. And what else? If you want to see a video version of the show, go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can see me in all my 720p glory. I believe that's the tagline I have on YouTube for the description of the playlist of this show. As well as, there's a show called News Time, where I take one story and I beat it to death. I read it, I understand it, and I make it digestible between 5 and 17 minutes. I believe that's my longest episode. 5 to 17 minutes. Definitely check it out. This week's episode is Cops. Why Cops was canceled. Why we were valorizing cops. Why even the good cops on TV shows are bad. Why the writers' rooms in these cop shows like SVU that only have 0 people of color and like 1 woman, and they're all white men writers, why those are bad. Definitely check it out. Also, coming up after this, directly uploaded after this, will be episode 300 of News Time. I've done 300 episodes of News Time. It's the dumbest show. Nobody should watch it. And yet I'm still doing it. It's my portfolio show. Camera just turned off. And episode 300 is coming up, hopefully on Monday. I'm not even going to say that. Maybe on Wednesday. Episode 300. I've done 300 episodes of News Time. On the playlist, I believe this will be 301, but I did technically do a 2-part episode very early on in News Time's lifespan. So check it out. It's going to be good, I hope. It's not going to be... It is. It's an idea. It's not news anything, but definitely check it out. Hopefully nothing happens tomorrow that's newsworthy that I have to switch it about. Knock on wood. Knocked on the desk. And there's a trailer for the 300th episode that is on the Instagram account and on the Twitter account for C Plus Comedy and on my Twitter account for because I never tweet. So that's good. All right, I got to go. Listen. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at C Plus Comedy. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chad Black White. Like us on Facebook. Rate and subscribe to the Constitutionals podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. And I'm going to vamp until I bring back up Anchor so I can close out this podcast. Goodbye.